For years after one of Rick and Morty's most iconic locations appeared to be destroyed, the animated series finally revealed the truth. Since the show has been running for more than 10 years, it's no surprise that the main characters have been all over the multiverse, introducing interesting environments and unique dimensions along the way, but one in particular has solidified as being particularly significant: the Citadel. Having served as a home for innumerable iterations of the protagonists, Rick and Morty Season 8 hinted at the Citadel's reconstruction after evil Morty destroyed it in the Season 5 finale. Rick Morty Jack was about evil Morty blowing up the Citadel of Ricks, which killed nearly everyone who lived there. Fortunately, a few people survived, the majority of whom were clones. Given everything that transpired, it appeared that this would be the final time we saw this pivotal location in the franchise. However, the Rick, the Mort, and the Ugly surprisingly brought the Citadel back, at least partially. Although the city was destroyed, a number of clones sought safety in the remnants of the safe haven, and Rick and Morty Season 8 provided them with a new beginning. There weren't many other survivors, which isn't surprising given that the main Rick and Morty characters on the show barely made it through the Citadel's devastation, but the location wasn't entirely lost. The clones were moved to the site's ruins because the Citadel served as a hub for spare parts, even though everyone was sucked back to their original realities during the aftermath. These clones may or may not have been in the Citadel when it was destroyed, but they all teleported to the remnants of the city and eventually established their own town where they sought safety. Even though it was rather basic and dilapidated, it at least gave these Mortys a place to escape Rick's authority. In spite of their lack of resources, the various Mortys that were depicted in Episode 3 appeared to come together and support one another. Even though there appeared to be a shared dislike of Rick's, one iteration of the character stayed just outside of town because homesteader Rick regularly traveled to the town center for trade, keeping the community afloat even though he didn't seem to respect Mortys. The Rick clones used Mortys to try to rebuild the Citadel, while the Morty clones tried to establish a more tranquil community. Instead of residing apart, the Rick clones broke into the Morty neighborhood of the city, abducted as many clones as they could, and then made them work for them. Furthermore, some Mortys were used in experiments, demonstrating the unequal treatment of the two sets of characters. This implied that evil Morty merely started a new cycle of mistreatment for Mortys, which was precisely the reason he destroyed the Citadel in the first place. Hog Boss Rick appeared to be in charge of the Citadel's reconstruction, providing incentives to anyone who would find and enslave any Morty clones. Furthermore, the Rick clones were successful in creating a more opulent setting than the Mortys, and Season 8 focused particularly on the abusive tendencies of the majority of Ricks, particularly when they are directed at Mortys. Homesteader Rick's role in Episode 3 is all the more noble because it demonstrates how morally bankrupt most versions of Rick are by choosing to rebuild the very city that doubles down on these power dynamics. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.